The Story of Deirdre, Part 1. Celtic Folk Tale. There was a man in Ireland once who was called Malcolm Harper. The man was a right good man, and he had a goodly share of this world's goods. He had a wife, but no family. What did Malcolm hear but that a soothsayer had come home to the place, and as the man was a right good man, he wished that the soothsayer might come near them. Whether it was that he was invited or that he came of himself, the soothsayer came to the house of Malcolm. "Are you doing any soothsaying?" says Malcolm. "Yes, I am doing a little." "Are you in need of soothsaying?" "Well, I do not mind taking soothsaying from you, if you had soothsaying for me, and you would be willing to do it." "Well, I will do soothsaying for you. What kind of soothsaying do you want?" "Well, the soothsaying I wanted was that you would tell me my lot or what will happen to me, if you can give me knowledge of it." "Well," said the soothsayer, "I saw in my second sight that it is on account of a daughter of yours that the greatest amount of blood shall be shed that has ever been shed in Erin since time and race began, and the three most famous heroes that ever were found will lose their heads on her account." After a time a daughter was born to Malcolm. He did not allow a living being to come to his house, only himself and the nurse. He asked this woman, "Will you yourself bring up the child to keep her in hiding far away where I will not see a sight of her nor hear a word about her?" The woman said she would, so Malcolm got 3 men, and he took them away to a large mountain, distant and far from reach, without the knowledge or notice of any one. He caused there a hillock, round and green, to be dug out of the middle, and the whole thus made to be covered carefully over so that a little company could dwell there together. This was done. Deirdre and her foster mother dwelt in the bothy mid the hills without the knowledge or the suspicion of any living person about them and without anything occurring, until Deirdre was 16 years of age. Deirdre grew like the white sapling, straight and trim as the rash on the moss. She was the creature of fairest form, of loveliest aspect, and of gentlest nature that existed between earth and heaven in all Ireland. Whatever color of hue she had before, there was nobody that looked into her face but she would blush fiery red over it. The woman that had charge of her, gave Deirdre every information and skill of which she herself had knowledge and skill. There was not a blade of grass growing from root, nor a bird singing in the wood, nor a star shining from heaven but Deirdre had a name for it. But one thing, she did not wish her to have either part or parley with any single living man of the rest of the world. But on a gloomy winter night, with black, scowling clouds, a hunter of game was wearily traveling the hills, and what happened but that he missed the trail of the hunt, and lost his course and companions. A drowsiness came upon the man as he wearily wandered over the hills, and he lay down by the side of the beautiful green knoll in which Deirdre lived, and he slept. The man was faint from hunger and wandering, and benumbed with cold, and a deep sleep fell upon him. When he lay down beside the green hill where Deirdre was, a troubled dream came to the man, and he thought that he enjoyed the warmth of a fairy broch, the fairies being inside playing music. The hunter shouted out in his dream, if there was any one in the broch, to let him in for the Holy One's sake. Deirdre heard the voice and said to her foster mother, "O foster mother, what cry is that?" "It is nothing at all, Deirdre, merely the birds of the air astray and seeking each other, but let them go past to the bosky glade, there is no shelter or house for them here." "Oh, foster mother," the bird asked to get inside for the sake of the god of the elements, "and you yourself tell me that anything that is asked in his name we ought to do. If you will not allow the bird that is being benumbed with cold, and done to death with hunger, to be let in, I do not think much of your language or your faith, but since I give credence to your language and to your faith, which you taught me, I will myself let in the bird." And Deirdre arose and drew the bolt from the leaf of the door, and she let in the hunter. She placed a seat in the place for sitting, food in the place for eating, and drink in the place for drinking for the man who came to the house. "Oh, for this life and raiment, you man that came in, keep restraint on your tongue," said the old woman. "It is not a great thing for you to keep your mouth shut and your tongue quiet when you get a home and shelter of a hearth on a gloomy winter's night." "Well," said the hunter, "I may do that, keep my mouth shut and my tongue quiet, since I came to the house and received hospitality from you, but by the hand of thy father and grandfather, and by your own 2 hands, if some other of the people of the world saw this beauteous creature you have here hid away, they would not long leave her with you, I swear." "What men are these you refer to?" said Deirdre. "Well, I will tell you, Young woman, said the hunter. They are Noes, son of Uisnek, and Alan and Arden his two brothers. What like are these men when seen, if we were to see them, said Deirdre. Why, the aspect and form of the men when seen are these, said the hunter, they have the color of the raven on their hair, their skin like swan on the wave in whiteness, and their cheeks as the blood of the brindled red calf, and their speed and their leap are those of the salmon of the torrent and the deer of the grey mountain side, and now is his head and shoulders over the rest of the people of Erin. However they are, said the nurse, be you off from here and take another road, and, King of light and sun, in good sooth and certainty, little are my thanks for yourself or for her that let you in. The hunter went away, and went straight to the palace of King Conachar. He sent word into the king that he wished to speak to him if he pleased. The king answered the message and came out to speak to the man. What is the reason of your journey? Said the king to the hunter. I have only to tell you, O king, said the hunter, that I saw the fairest creature that ever was born in Erin, and I came to tell you of it. To be continued.